Sarah, and I am a resident of the city of Visalia, and I am originally from a small rural town called Poplar in the outskirts of the city of Porterville. So like many rural farm working families, my family lived paycheck to paycheck, and so because of that, my family had to have very limited budget, and so that affected our food choices. So we had staples growing up such as lentils, beans, fruits and vegetables, as well as oats, of course, grains. And so the fruit and vegetables were mostly seasonal just because my parents, they're avid gardeners, so we always had a little bit of everything in our house. They have 3 orange trees, a fig tree, and some peach trees. So we had a variety, and then of course our seasonal fruits and vegetables. In the summer, I was very fond of zucchini and corn and chilies, and then we had the spring sweet strawberries, and then winter we had lettuce and all your greens. So that was really amazing to grow up with. And so as a child, I wasn't as aware of why my parents garden. And so first of all, it's very affordable, and you get to eat fresh fruits and vegetables without paying a lot, and so it really stretches your budget. And so it made me appreciate it even more when I grew up, and I'm a grown-up now, and I have my own family, so I have a garden, and I always love the fruits of my labor. So my husband and I grew pumpkins, and it's just a joy watching them grow, and we just harvested sweet potatoes. It was like a treasure, just hunting for a treasure, one more exciting than the next, and it was just so amazing to see all the different sizes and colors of sweet potatoes. And so with very simple things, you can make very simple dishes. As I'm going to teach you today, you can eat very cheaply and very nutritional with an oatmeal that we're going to prepare for you today. So I'm going to get right to it. I have a hearty oatmeal for you today, and so you're going to start with a medium pot, and you're going to use about 1 cup and 3/4 of water. You can use a little bit more depending on how much it needs, because sometimes oats can be very absorbent, so they will absorb the water really quickly. And so you want to be very vigilant that your pot doesn't burn, because that could happen if you step away from the kitchen. So just want to be very mindful. So we're going to turn up the heat, about medium heat, and let the water boil. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and get to our apples. So you're going to get a nice large apple like this, but you can choose green apples, you can choose there's different varieties. It just depends on how sweet you want your oatmeal to be, because I'm going to use this apple to sweeten our dish rather than using so much sugar. So let's go ahead and start. So of course you always want to be safe. You want to always be mindful, especially if you have young children. So you always want to get the apple nice and firm, and have a sharp knife. So I'm going to go straight down. Use your upper body strength. And then you're going to do that, repeat that process all around the apple. Just like so. And as you can see, there's still quite a bit left, so you want to get as much as possible of the apple as you can, because we want to waste very little. We don't want to waste anything. And what you can do with this, you can throw it to the compost bin. You can start a compost bin. It's always really healthy for your soil. Always want to be environmentally conscious. There we go. So as much as I can gather from this apple, so we're going to put it aside. And let's go ahead and keep going. You can set some of these pieces ahead so there's not a lot of clutter in your board, because that can be, you can cut yourself very easily if you have a very cluttered board. So you want to take it kind of piece by piece. So let's go ahead and do that. So you're going to julienne it, so cut it in French fry strips, as I like to tell kids, as I don't know if any of you know, but I used to be the nutrition education coordinator here, and I loved all the classes with the kids. It was one of my most fondest memories of this place, getting to teach different levels of cooking and nutrition education and gardening. So you want to explain to your kids or to beginners the cutting techniques as simple as possible so they get it. So let's go ahead and put our apples here, put them aside, and then routinely check on your stove to make sure that it's going at a steady pace. And if it's not getting to a boil as fast as you expected, you can turn up the heat a little bit, and once it boils you can turn it down a little bit more. So turn up the heat. And let's quickly continue to chop our apple in small chunks. And this is both going to act as a sweetener, and the apple, if it's really crunchy, is also going to be a little bit softer. It's always good, especially for seniors. They might not have as strong of a teeth, so this is a really good meal for them, or for young children. Is really excellent. And you know, kids and everyone else like sweet things rather than being healthy than unhealthy, you know, candy or any other sweets. This is way better because it has both fiber and sweetness, so it burns at a slower rate. Let's go ahead and put this away. Okay. It's a very nice big apple. So this dish is going to serve about approximately 4 people. So about a half a cup of a serving. So let's, and maybe a little bit more if you have more things to add to it. Like I'm going to top it off with a bunch of nutritionally dense foods such as nuts and pistachios. I have this really lovely pistachios that add a nice contrast to the sweetness of the apples, and also raisins and almonds. You can add pumpkin seeds, you can add whatever you like. You can add berries, blueberries, you can add so many different. That's the simplicity of this dish. It can be very, very simple or complex. So oats, you can use it in overnight oats. You can make a smoothie with them. You can make an oatmeal. It just depends on what you like. And as you can see, this dish is very simple to make, and the complexity lies more in the chopping of the apple for this particular dish. So checking our water, sure it's going. Okay, so just before it boils, you want to add the apples. Let's go ahead and add the apples so that it sweetens the water. Almost going to look like an apple cider color, so it's going to look nice and brown, all the sugar from the apples, and just going to make it nice and sweet for us. Let's finish up the last piece of our apple. Okay, perfect. As you can see, you can make it really messy in your board, so that's why we took away all those pieces. And let's continue. There we go. And you know, as you can see, my apple is not perfect, so it doesn't have to be perfect, all the cuttings, as long as it's small chunks. Go ahead and stir it a little bit. There we go. Smelling nice and sweet already. All right, let's put this to the side. Small little piece escaped me. There we go. Perfect. Let's go ahead and cover that. Just let it simmer and bring it to a boil. Okay. All right. So in the meantime that we wait, you can just start thinking about the many ways that you can make oats. In my family, we loved it as a drink. So my mom would get a nice pot of water, and she would get the oats and just blend them with a little bit of milk. So blend it nice and smooth. And then when the water was boiling, she would add cinnamon sticks and flavor the water that way. And then she would add the liquefied oats into the water mixture. And that was always my favorite drink to have in the morning, especially before going to work. So like I told you before, I grew up with going to work in the fields with my parents, because my parents, both of them were farm workers, and so every summer they would take us to the fields in the morning, and I didn't particularly like it or appreciate it at the time, because they woke me up at 3, 4 in the morning sometimes, and as I grew older they would have me wake up with them so that I can make lunch once a week. So we would rotate, and I just remember thinking that was one of the most things that I appreciated from it, because especially in the winter you would get up and drink something warm, and you didn't even want to get out of your car, because as you would look outside, my parents work in grapes, so different aspects of the grape, and it was just frozen solid, and you didn't even want to step out there, and so that hot drinks really helped, and that was one of them. So, our water, look, it's already kind of going. Ooh, this is what we want, so let's get a close-up on it. It's looking really, really nice, and it's already up to boiling point. So this is, when it starts boiling like this, you want to add your oats. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. Oh yeah, the water's getting nice and milky white. And if you want, you can also add a little bit of milk to your dish. I personally love almond milk, the unsweetened vanilla almond milk specifically. I love that milk, because one is low in calories. It's about 30 calories per 8 ounces for almond milk. I love that. And you can also add part skim milk if you like, the blue cap one, so you can add it to make it a little bit more creamy and rich. But this is kind of like the basic recipe. So all of you out there at home, especially if you have a small budget and you're stretching out your budget because you have a lot of kids, like my family, we're a family of 7, so my parents had to be very clever in coming up with ways to stretch their budget. So there we go. It's coming really nice together. There we go. So now is when you want to add your brown sugar or any other alternative, especially for those of out there that are diabetic or have any other conditions where you have high blood pressure or any other type of medical condition where you are not allowed or are limited in the amount of sugar that you intake. You can have something like this. So this is monk fruit sweetener, and it's really good. It's low calorie, 0 carbs, and I've been told it's also keto approved. And so depending on your diet needs, you can use different types of sweeteners. And of course, just sweetening the oatmeal with apples or any other type of sweet fruit, that could also be wonderful. I purchased this at my local grocery outlet store, so I got it at a bargain price, so you can do that too if you like. I wasn't going to go out on my way and buy it really expensive because I'm trying to stay within a budget. So that's an option for you. Okay, it's really going there. It's almost ready. It's looking nice and creamy. So you're gonna want to do this for about 5 minutes. It's been about 3 minutes that I added the water. I'm sorry, that I added the oats, and so it's already looking nice and thick. So this is when we want to add the brown sugar, and want to add some cinnamon. This is about a teaspoon of cinnamon. You want to add as much flavor as possible without adding so much sugar. Make it very healthy to start your morning with a nice bowl of oatmeal. It will give you a lot of fiber and proteins and just different nutrients, because every color has a different nutrient of fruits and vegetables, so you want to add as many diversity as you can. Okay, and now we're going to add about 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Okay, so this is where we want to lower the heat. So low heat, just to let it boil and all the flavors come together, all the flavors marry, nice and uniform. Okay, so we want to cover it now. Just let it simmer. And of course now we want to cut our banana. We want to leave that for last because it gets nice, it gets brown, and we don't want that to be the case. So let's go ahead and peel our banana. Put it to the side, and then cut it in kind of large slices at an angle. There we go. And always like keeping a finger over here on your knife so that it makes it nice and stable. There we go. Nice big slices. Perfect. So what we can do here is use this as a bowl. Just put it in here. Okay, there we have our banana. Okay, this looks to be about ready. Just want to let it rest just a little bit. So let's go ahead and take it off the heat. We don't want it to let it get all dry, because then you're going to have a hard time washing that pot, and we don't want it to be the case. Okay, perfect. Let it rest, and in the meantime we have our different fixings. We have raisins and pistachios. Let's go ahead and put that away. And then we have some lovely almonds. They're already nice and sliced for us, and of course you can buy the whole almonds, and they'll probably be cheaper, and you can just get them really nice and finely cut. All right, it's been about a minute. Let's go ahead and serve. Friends, are you ready to eat? Let's go ahead and show you how the final product looks. We're going to get a nice bowl. This is about 4 servings. Oh, look at this. This is beautiful. Oh yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and top it with different things. Put the banana first. You can add as many as you like. So have to be careful for those of you that are diabetic. Bananas are pretty sweet. So we're going to top it with some pistachios to give it a nice salty contrast to the sweetness. Add some raisins.